Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of On My Terms. In this episode, I have with me someone who left her hometown in Texas to move to New York to pursue her dreams of becoming a dancer, actor, and model. Now, Kyra Green is an aspiring entertainer, paving her own way to success. In this episode, we talk about betting on yourself, cultivating a positive mindset, and more. So without further ado, help me in welcoming Kyra Green. You're born and raised in Texas. You attended college in New York at Nazareth College, Rochester. You have a Bachelor's of Science degree in dance and Bachelor's of Arts in theater. And now you're honing your craft as an actress, dancer, and model. So can you take me back to when you knew you wanted to pursue this path? Was it something you always knew you wanted to do, or did it evolve over time?
So it definitely evolved over time. So growing up, I was with my mom. My mom's a single parent until she met my stepdad. And so a key kind of memory of mine is me and my sister would be in the apartments on our own while my mom was at work. And we were supposed to be cleaning up the house, but we had this DVD of Beyonce and Sierra's music videos. And so we would put them in and we would dance. So we would learn the choreography, and I would learn the choreography and just perform it all day, every day. And that was kind of like how I danced and was a part of dance class, because we just couldn't afford that. That was a thing that we could do. And then over time, I would just look up Matt Stefania's choreography videos and just learn that. But I've always was interested in movies and film and theater. So by the time I got into high school and I was able to join drama club and theater, that's what I did. So I did the Baytown Little Theater. I did my school theater, but I only took one dance class my entire year of high school. And so going into college, I went to Nazareth just because they offered me the most money, and I got into their acting program. So that's where I went. I was very much I'm just going to go here for my acting degree. I'm going to do theater. And I don't know, I was just I like to dance, but I don't know, for some reason, dance wasn't something that I was I could make a career out of this, or I can do this. And so before COVID, I took a dance class credit because I was well, if I'm going to pay for school, I might as well get my money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
I took a dance class and it was ballet, and my teacher was or it was a musical theater dance class, and she was you're really good. Are you a dancer? And I was oh, no, I'm just taking this class because one, I need the credit, but two, it's just for fun. And she was have you ever thought about being a dance minor? And I was no. And so then I thought about it, became a dance minor. And then COVID hit. Right before COVID hit, they took away my major. And I was okay, what do I do? Do I transfer schools? But because NAS is a private institution, none of my credits were going to transfer. And I'm definitely not a school person. I'm a school person, but I didn't think I could do this for 4 more years, because all of the schools that I wanted to transfer to were oh, you would have to start all over as a freshman. And I was a sophomore at this point, and I was absolutely not. So COVID hit, that happened, and we had to be sent home. And all I could think about was what am I going to do? How do I do this? And because they took away my major, they took away my scholarships. So I was what am I going to do to pay for school? So before we had to leave because of COVID, I decided to audition for the dance major, thinking that it was in the art department, so I would get my scholarships back. I got in, and I was okay, so I get my scholarship money back, right? And after a while, I was taking classes, and then that's when I was hey, so do I get my scholarship money back before we go away? So I was oh, the dance department is not a part of the arts department. It's part of the science department, because you have to take anatomy and all that. I was so do I get money?
Right.
They were no, because you didn't come in as a freshman. And so that was another time of my life where I was thinking, well, is it worth it? Do I still just transfer how I originally was going to do? But I had made so many friends within the dance department, and I really did love it. And so I was you know what? I'll figure it out. When there's a will, there's a way. So I ended up coming home, working, paying off my whatever. So that's how it kind of evolved. But it wasn't until we got back where I studied abroad, and one of my mentors is the assistant director of Hamilton the musical, and I was able to do a open jar institution program for a week in New York City for musical theater. And that's when I was oh, I love to dance. I love to dance, and I love theater. I love film. This has to be my future. How is it going to be my future? I don't know, but this has to be my future.
As it was evolving, and you grew up in Texas, I'm not sure whether you grew up what kind of town you grew up in, but whenever you were stumbling upon this passion, it was growing and evolving. Was your family and friends supportive of this path because I know like a lot of creative paths, a lot of parents or like family and friends are like, okay, you could do that, but like it's not very safe, it's not very secure. So like, how was your environment like?
I think it was 50-50. I will say I'm the type of person I do not care. I've always been like with growing up. I've always, have been like, well, if it's my money, I'm gonna do whatever I want. If it's my time, I'm gonna do whatever I want. If it's my like I've always been like that. But my mom was definitely on the supportive side. I'm always called like the dramatic person in the family. So she kind of was like, oh yeah, my little dramatic kid, like of course you would be into theater and film. Maybe a little bit of my older family relatives, like my grandparents, they were more like, are you sure? Especially since my older sister went to nursing school and became a nurse. I don't think that people thought I was going to follow in her footsteps because we are two different people. But they definitely was like, well, your sister's doing this. Is there anything else? Like, even now to this day, people will be like, what about flight attendant? Like, is that
Yeah.
next? And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm interested in. This is what I want to do. And so it's definitely 50-50. I have family members who really do believe in me and are like, yeah, you are going to make it. And I think the others, it's not that they don't believe me in me, but I am 24. I did just move back home. So there's a little bit of like, so what's going on here? Like, are you sure this is something you still want to pursue? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and I feel like that speaks to like every person who's like in their 20s, like especially their early 20s, just trying to figure it out, you know? But I feel like having a supportive, like at least one family member, that one friend, you know, because I know like
Mhm.
my little brother right now, he's pursuing acting, like he's about to graduate high school. And like,
Hey.
yes, and he's super excited. And so I really have been like, not saying that my parents are supportive, but like I've been really trying to push him, like, if this is what you want to do it. And so now I want to ask you, because from what I gathered, you also are working other jobs, like you're a waitress, you babysit while you're pursuing your career, and that's a lot. And you're a dance instructor. I remember you saying that in one of your YouTube videos. And so I wanted to ask you, how do you stay committed to your vision of becoming like a successful actor, dancer, and model while balancing these jobs?
Faith, trust, and pixie dust. But on a serious note, so I am a Christian, my faith with God. Granted, it might not be like the most strongest or maybe noteworthy, but it's my relationship with God, and that's all that matters. And so the times that I do remember to speak to Him and pray and give my thanks and gratitude, somehow, some way, He will give me one win, and that will be enough to push me. So right now, I only do the nannying and the waitressing job. And I feel like sometimes I get so caught up in those jobs and so caught up in just making money to get me by. Something will happen at a job where something will happen in the sense that it's not great. Or like one of my coworkers will do something and I'm just thinking to myself, and maybe this is not the greatest thing, and I can admit that, but they'll do something and I'm like, damn, they're around the same age as me. This is what they're doing. And they have a kid. Like I use like those type of examples to be like, that could be me and I don't want that to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be my restart of like the week of like, okay, let me get back to work because this is not what I want to do with my life. Let me start looking at more auditions. Let me start booking more dance classes because this is just not what I want to do. So definitely like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but for some reason, negative reinforcement comes into mind where it's just like, because I live in a small town too. And I think, so I'm from Houston, but now I live in Baytown, which is a very small town. Like everybody knows each other. And so because like everyone knows each other, I find myself at Walmart or at our local bar or at the park with my dog. And I'll see people from high school and we're still talking about the same high school stuff. And I'm just like, no, like I've done too much. I've seen too much. I've graduated school. Like this is not going to be my story. And so that's how I kind of like propel myself to keep focusing. And I always just think I cannot be a server for the rest of my life. I cannot be a nanny for the rest of my life. This is not my personal story. Or even like on TikTok, I'll see people like Charlie D'Amelio, and I'm like, okay, girl, like you're 17 and you're doing what I want to do. Like, how do I get there? And so I'll use
Mm-hmm.
that to like motivate me too.
I like that because I feel like, especially in small towns, it's very easy to kind of get stuck in that trap of like, okay, I'm here. And like
Mhm.
my dreams are kind of too big. So like it's easier just to kind of stay in this bubble of comfortability. I commend you for like being proactive and like holding on to that vision because that's so hard.
It really is, especially like when you have like Instagram and you're seeing all of your friends getting married and having kids. You're like, maybe I should just pop on Hinge or whatever, get myself a husband and settle down. Like it
Yes.
sounds like the easier route, but then I know I'm like, well, my dream wasn't to be a wife. My dream wasn't to be a mother. Not that those things aren't valid, but that's not my dream.
Mm-hmm.
So so I need to remember what I did and what I have done and get back on the horse.
Okay, so I was watching one of your YouTube videos and you said something that really stuck out to me. You said, I'm trying to put myself out there and really trying to open doors for myself. And I really like that because it speaks to an important mindset you need when pursuing, like, you know, an unconventional path, because it speaks to that action you need and that perseverance. And so I want to ask you, where did this mentality come from? Or like, how did you cultivate it?
So I have another friend, Paul Archer. He's an actor in LA. He's actually been like on Abbott Elementary and some stuff like that.
I love that show.
Me too. And we'll text every once in a while, and he's always reminding me to open more doors for yourself because things aren't going to come to you, which also kind of aligns with like my whole mindset of being a Black woman, where it's like you work twice as harder to get any type of recognition, but also so many doors are always being shut in your face that you have to just make your own door, make your own door, make your own table, make your own house if you really need to. And so that's kind of just like how I've kind of always been thinking, but because I've met this new person that really put words to that frame of mind, I'm like, oh, I really do have to make my own doors.
I read this description on your YouTube channel. You said a small town girl trying to make an impact in a creative way. And that's what I knew. You're the right person to interview for my series, because like just that wording, I was like, yes. And so I wanted to ask you, what kind of impact are you trying to make, or like what you're striving to make in this world?
I've always said that I want other little girls, specifically Black girls, but all, especially now in this political climate, I want all little girls to have a dream that's bigger than them if that's what they want, and pursue that. I feel like we talk about representation so much and how there's a lack of representation, and I still think there is. I do think it's getting better and I do think it's growing, but even then, like, it's far and in between. And I feel like for myself, with being an actor, being a dancer, these are these jobs that no one tells you how to do them, right? There's no how to book for dummies to become an actor. It's always just like either luck or you just work really hard. Everyone has a different way of how they, I mean, with any job, but really for these jobs, everyone has a different way of how they did what they did and become what they've become. But I would like to open the door and be like, after I've made it, have some type of program, have some type of school, have something to be like, okay, but this, if you go here, we will make sure that you make it. Because for me, I've struggled with going to scam agencies and going to illegitimate places where they promise you, like, we're going to make this happen for you, we're going to do this, and you put your trust and faith in it, hoping that it's going to work. And then you realize, like, oh, you're just stealing my money from me. And I want to be that change where it's like, okay, I put my blood, sweat, and tears, I finally made it. Now I can open the door for other people to try to make it. And it's legitimate, it's honest. That's just kind of like what I would like to do.
I love that, especially because like I feel like it's two type of like people in this world. Whenever they're trying to build a life of success, one side is like, okay, I'm trying to build this just to get the accolades, get like the fame and blah blah blah. And then there's the other side where it's like, okay, I'm doing this because I want to be of service, you know? And I find that people who want to be of service and want to inspire and influence people to create bigger lives, they go further, or at least they go further and they're happier. You know, they feel more fulfilled. And so now I want to ask you, okay, so this series is called On My Terms because it features individuals who are creating and living a life on their terms. And so I want to ask you, for life to feel and look authentic to you, what terms are required?
Oof.
I get the same reaction every time. I could give you some examples if you need it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So for me, if I were to answer this question, I would say my first thing is life needs to be flexible because I want to be able to move around freely and to like travel whenever I want to travel. So whether that be my career or whatever I'm doing, it has to be flexible enough to support that. But my second one is it has to be soul led. So if my spirit's not calling me there, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? It could be $1 million deal. And like, if my soul is like, Aaliyah, that ain't it, I'm not doing it, you know?
I'm going to steal your top two, but I'm going to add adventure. Oh my goodness. Studying abroad was the best thing that I've ever could have done. And I didn't realize that I needed that type of adventure and traveling in my life. That is probably, looking back, the happiest time I've ever been was traveling and just trying so many different things, talking to so many different people, so many different cultures. And so that is what I would need. I'm actually going back to London in June and I need that so bad. Like it's like the taste is almost there and it's making me salivate. Like I need it so bad. And honestly, this is stupid, but I would need dance. I really would need it to
Yes.
to some degree, whether that be modern, whether that be hip hop. Like I would need it to just feel complete and feel happy.
I love that. And like that's not stupid because like that speaks to the passion. You need passion in your life.
Yes.
Not a lot of people have that. Like people go throughout their whole lives like not tapping into that passion. So that's important. Okay, so now we're moving on to a segment I call I'm Just Curious. And it's just rapid fire questions. So 1, what is your favorite style of dance?
Hip hop.
Okay, 2, pick one. Hamilton or Wicked?
Ooh. Oh. Hamilton.
Okay. I had a feeling you would say that because you mentioned that earlier in the interview. And so also you just mentioned London. I said, since we both met while we were studying abroad in London, I want to know, what is one thing you miss about the UK?
Low-key dating, because why were those men so much better? I definitely did not miss the food.
I was not expecting that, but I love it. Next one, where's your go-to food spot in Houston?
During the season, I love LA crawfish or Swamp Shack. During the crawfish season. Any other time, Taco Bell. Or actually, Jack in the Box.
Okay, and last one, I saw that you have 2 upcoming concerts you're going to see soon. So I want to ask you, who are you most excited to see in concert this summer? Beyonce or Raul Alejandro?
Oh, you did me dirty with this one. This one hurts my soul. But I will say I did get meet and greet tickets for Raul Alejandro. So I'm a little bit more excited because I'm like, I get to meet him. I've been polishing up my Spanish. Like I'm ready.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Puedo ser tu esposa? That's literally what I'm gonna say. Can I be your wife? Like, come on now. Don't play with me.
Did you enjoy this video? If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below for new videos. And I want to know in the comments what terms are required for you for life to feel and look authentic to you. Okay, see you in the next episode. Bye.